Hello church, it's nice to see you again. Thank you for inviting me back into your homes. I've brought the woodland with me today and the reason for that is I've just come across this tree that is toppled over and I'm sitting at where the roots were, I don't know if you can see, and as I saw it, as I was looking past, it reminded me of Daniel chapter 4, which of course is our next chapter in our study. So I thought I would stop here and film the video from here. So I'm sorry if my knowledge of the passage isn't great. I haven't brought a Bible with me. I'll have to carry one from now on when I'm out and about on my daily exercise. But in chapter 4, I think it's the one with Nebuchadnezzar's dream. And he dreams about this huge, big, magnificent tree under which all of the animals find shelter and birds rest in the leaves, and it's huge and glorious. And then somebody comes from heaven and just shears it right down, and the birds flee and the animals flee, and it's eventually left as a stump, just gathering dew and eating grass. Like the nearby cows, which I've never quite understood, but maybe you will have a better understanding of that than I do. And Nebuchadnezzar wakes up and calls together all of his wise people and asks them to interpret his dream, and somebody remembers Daniel and brings up his name and says, look, there's somebody in your land, Belshazzar, which was Daniel's Babylonian name, he can interpret dreams. So Daniel comes along and he prays and he says, King, I wish I could give this news to your enemies because it's not good. You are the tree and God is going to come and knock you down because you're only interested in your own glory. And sure enough, a short while later, King Nebuchadnezzar stood on his rooftop and he's looking over his kingdom and he says, look at how glorious I am. Look, I am above all things. I am fantastic and wonderful. And he is struck down and he goes and lives in the fields and gets drenched in the dew and eats the grass like the animals. And I think he's like that for about 2 years. And then after 2 years, he looks up to the heavens and says, God, you are worthy of glory. You are worthy of honour. You are above all things. And at that moment, he is restored to his former position. Now, it's a bit of an odd story in the book of Daniel. Daniel's full of crazy stories, which is one of the reasons I chose it for whilst we're all stuck at home. But it made me remember a sermon that my dad gave a few years ago on saying thank you to people. He wrote down all of the names of everybody who was needed to get a church service to happen. So he included people doing the teas and coffees, the people who pray, the person who writes a sermon, the tech team on the screen, the musicians, the people unlocking the doors, the cleaners. He included everybody that it takes to get that church service to the place that it should be. And the list, as you can imagine, was incredibly long. And he said, now I'm sure you all know what I'm going to do next. And we all thought, of course, he's going to say thank you to them. And he said, I am not going to say thank you to anybody on this list. I'm going to do what Paul did. Paul never said thank you to anybody. He said, I thank my God for you. Because Paul knew that the reason those people were in his life, the reason those people were doing the good that they were doing, was all because of God. It was down to what God was doing in their lives and where God was taking them. And we're at a point in time where we owe a lot of thanks to a lot of people. You know, we owe a lot of thanks to the NHS and the staff who are slogging away, and some of them isolating themselves from their families and their children. We owe a lot of thanks to the people who are staying at home and not spreading the coronavirus. We owe a lot of thanks to the people who work hard at the food bank and delivering medicines for the pharmacies, to the people making the decisions and doing all of the data configuration so that they know how it's spreading. And in all of that, it can sometimes be hard to remember that every good and perfect thing comes from above. The people who are in our lives because God has put them there. The people that we need to be in the places that they are there because God has put them there. He is a good God, and we need to remember to say thank you to him. So I'm going to say thank you to God for all of the people in our church who have been praying for me over the time that I've been part of the church. I am incredibly grateful for the security and the comfort that I get from that. And if you're at home praying, I'm thanking God for you and for how important you are in my life. I'll see you all again soon. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll make sure I've got my Bible with me next time. All right, bye.